You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the BLEAV Network, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook, and sponsored by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate game day experience, tailgating, stadium tours, all the above. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code World'sTeam2025. And that's a wrap, folks. The 2025 season is now over, with the Dallas Cowboys losing 34-17 to the New York Giants. But to help me with dissecting this game, I am joined as always by my brother-in-arms, Mr. Mike Poland. And all I will say, Mike, thank God this season is over. Thank God.
Yeah, I put a tweet up and everybody's quite liked it. It's just that bad boys bit where they're just like, woo-sa. It's like, everybody just woo-sa and relax. It's all over. Yeah, it's a reprieve for it to all be done, because I don't think I could hack another week if we went to the playoffs, for instance, of watching this Cowboys defense.
I don't know about you, Mike, but it kind of felt like, and I don't want to be, well, you know what, I am going to say it, Mike.
Do it.
I kind of felt like Matt Eberflus even more jeopardized himself for him to even get another job in football after today. It just kind of feel like, oh, well, I'm going to get the sack anyway. I'm just going to go shrug my shoulders and don't care. That's pretty much how I felt from that game. But don't get me wrong, there were standouts in this game, which we will mention, like Jadeveon Clowney. Re-sign him without a shadow of a doubt. He was by far our best player in defense by a long shot.
Had a career day.
Yeah. And someone made a tweet. I can't remember if it was John Machota or someone else, but basically Clowney would have got a 250 grand bonus but based on if the Cowboys were in the playoffs. He met his threshold of reaching 6 sacks, but of course the Cowboys are not in the playoffs. But if that was to me, I was like, well, with what the performance he's putting, I would just give him that bonus just regardless. I'll be honest. As an incentive, this like, we really like you, want to get you to come back and really like come back for round 2 for next year. That's what I would be like. But yeah, just looking at the game, the statistics, Dak was 7 for 10, and Milton was 7 for 11. Like, it was just
Milton was all over the place. He needed to calm down. He was just slinging that ball.
Embarrassing for me to say, mate, but there was times where in this game I was just not interested in watching it. I would go and make myself a cup of coffee, or go and grab myself a can of juice, or as I would say, or a can of soda for our friends in America. But yeah, I was just I really struggled to be in tune to really focus and watch this game, because it was so difficult just to witness what we were watching. It really was.
I mean, like, on the plus side of things, the teams we need to lose for better draft position did. So that has helped. Green Bay lost as well heavily. That's good, because that's draft position for us. So there are positives from this week. It just doesn't happen to be for the Cowboys in this game. When we talked about momentum, confidence, rotational players getting time that you want to see, we did see some, which we'll get into.
Good point you just mentioned. I mean, we did talk about like Josh Butler, right?
Yeah.
In the pregame show. Like, I thought, all things considering, I thought he did quite well for his first game back as a Cowboy, because even though he shouldn't be making those tackles because our linebackers weren't doing, because if there was no Josh Butler there, it could have been a hell of a lot worse in some cases. So I need to give props to Josh Butler. Like, regardless, like, he was basically trying to salvage everything in this game, but him and Clowney were the big standouts. But there was a moment in the game, and I believe it was in the third quarter, where it was you get a flag, and that was not just on the Cowboys; it was on the Giants as well. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And there was fights. Donovan Esaraku got ejected. Like, it was just so lack of discipline as well. Like, from not just from the Cowboys, but from the Giants as well.
Yeah, but go on, continue. Go on.
Yeah, and we struggled to really cope with Jackson Dart and some of these other wide receivers. I'm trying to remember the wide receiver, the one with the long hair. It tried to throw the touchdown where it was wide open, but obviously the ball was underthrown. But he caused us a lot of problems. I need to get his name. Hold on, I have it right here. His name was Gunnar Ozinski. That's the one. And he had a career day. 8 receptions, 102 yards, averaging 12.8. Tyrone Tracy, the running back, got 8 targets as a wide receiver for 56 yards. I mean, we talked about Jackson Dart, and the Giants' passing game was not really the best, and yet they still managed to put up 230 yards passing on us. And even in the running game as well, we managed to give up 161 yards in total, with Tyrone Tracy going for 103 yards, averaging 5.7. Jackson Dart going for 5 carries at 32 yards, and Devin Singletary going for 26 yards under 9 carries. So, and he was the only one in the Giants with the rushing touchdown. So, it just was not good from the defensive standpoint, all in. But like I said, like, the main positive was, like, we did get to see, like, Clowney really stepping up, like, forced fumble, sacks, pressures, and whatnot. Like, he was the only guy it seemed to be, and gap integrity, most importantly. I thought he was the only one who was that well disciplined in that regard. But
and you got 50% of the way there on your hot take. On your bold prediction.
I know. I wish I could have went back and says, like, Blue and Maffa would have got it. But, but I was not expecting to see Blue getting as much carries as he did. But
the big chunk play he had was
that was great.
That, straight down the middle, straight down. The issue I have is that once we got into that area, they continue to try and play Blue. And that's not his area. His area is midfield, between the 20s. And the drive stalled. Dak tried to throw a fade to the right to Pickens. That didn't come out. And then we go 3 and out in the red zone. And then it turns into just a field goal. And we was talking in the pregame show that the Cowboys need in the red zone to score. They needed to score touchdowns. They don't need to score field goals when they get in the red zone. And then you saw it on the next drive. They get into the red zone. They go 4 and out. Terrence Steele also pulls a penalty for a holding call and just kills the drive. There's a lot. What's funny is that particular series there, or once they get there and they're 1st and 10 in that area, there's a lot you can take away from that. From what they didn't do. You know, what you could do is sometimes negatives can help you look at your team to know what you need to do next year. And that was a perfect place. Everything else was just mind-boggling when it came to the defense. None of it made sense.
Kenneth Murray, by any chance?
That didn't make sense.
No,
that one causes a penalty. Causes the penalty, which allowed the insane touchdown by the Giants on 3rd and 16. Which just, I think, what's funny is Bellinger scores that touchdown. It was just like that whole moment of those couple of plays just perfectly encapsulated what the Dallas defense has been this year. Everything that was happening on those couple of plays was just like what the season was all about. Linebackers out of position, penalties, costly penalties that put the opposition's offense back into play, and then just broken coverage where nobody really understands their assignment and being in the wrong place. It was just perfect. It was perfect of what the defense was.
And there was one particular moment I noticed as well, and it was on the aerial cam where you're actually on top of the offense and defense in a more vertical view.
Yeah.
Where right before the snap, and I can't mind if it was Shamar James or Kenneth Murray, but they tried to redirect the defense at the very last moment where you're not unable to adjust.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah.
So there's accountability in that, like not recognizing what the offense is trying to do in that regard. So, but as far as I'm concerned, I would give Kenneth Murray his walking papers. I know it sounds brutal saying that, but
no,
I think a lot within the Cowboys nation and within all the Cowboys content creators all feel the exact same way in that sentiment. Because if that's one area that needs to be heavily reinvested in, is linebacker. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other positions as well. We need to look at defensive end. We need to look at getting a new cornerback as well. Because obviously with Diggs now off to Green Bay, and obviously the lack of depth that we've got in the cornerback position. But this could be a potentially high defensive draft. But it really depends what we do in free agency as well. We might bring in some really good experienced players in free agency, but either way, it's it all starts with who do we bring in as our new defensive coordinator, and I would expect that to happen soon in terms of letting know Cowboys Nation that Eberflus is no longer going to be part of the team next year.
Yeah,
that has to happen.
Yeah, ironically, Schottenheimer, as we speak, this very second is going up on the podium to go and talk and give his final press conference for the regular season. He'll obviously give more over the coming weeks, but you would expect somewhere in the conversation of these press conferences for the defensive coordinator question to come up and him have to address it.
You would like to think so, but we'll definitely keep a tab on that after, as we're recording this show, so obviously we can't really kind of go back and forth. But once this episode is done, then we're definitely going to have a wee look at it, see what Schottenheimer has to say. But either way, it was just poor. It really was. Like, it's been an emotional roller coaster of a season from top to bottom, losing to teams that we shouldn't have lost to. But the crazy part is the teams that we did lose to, two of them have actually won the divisions, which is crazy to think. The Bears and the Panthers. The Panthers.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that? 3 teams were 8 and 9, and the Panthers somehow and I am struggling to find the words. Somehow came up on top.
The NFC South it's not the greatest place to be in right now, because like they were all kind of like jostling for that spot with not a lot going on. I mean, the Saints were trying to pull it together today. It was
in fairness, Saints actually looked a lot better. In fairness, even though they still lost. In
parts. Tyler Show with that rushing touchdown over on the right hand side, great. You were just like, that's what we saw in college. Brilliant to see. Yeah, excellent. There were certain things that were coming in. But reverting back to the Cowboys is that you've given Jackson Dart the last game of the season. That's going to carry him into next season now, because now he has momentum and confidence.
Yep.
You've got certain parts of the defense that are definitely coming together. The Giants, if they play their cards right in this draft now, I mean, they're going to be drafting somewhere around 7th or 8th, depending on the last couple of games. I mean, they could still get a decent defensive player in there, depending on which direction that they want to go on all of this.
And now it depends on the other teams ahead of them now.
Yes. So there's some things going on there. So it'll be interesting to see how the Giants attack this offseason, because they could come out quite strongly.
I called it. I called it in the pregame show. Like, regardless of what you may think about the Giants, but they do have a lot of up-and-comings that could actually cause a lot of problems down the future. And I do believe Jackson Dart is one of those problems that we're going to have to face for the next 4 to 5 years, essentially, with him being in the helms as the quarterback for the New York Giants. But yeah, like, I mean, looking at the stats again, Dak Prescott only received 70 yards. I'll be brutally honest, Mike. I can see Matt Stafford taking the title now.
I think he's got to get something like 111 yards.
He should be able to do that against Arizona. He should.
Goff is out the question. I think Goff is like something like 320 yards. So that's quite an ask.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be really nice for Dak to get that, but I just don't see Dak achieving that now with how Stafford has been playing recently and stuff like that. So
yeah, and they were right to pull him at halftime at that stage.
It was the right. It was the right call. It was.
The fumble came in, and he went down, and you were like, "Oh God, okay, unnecessary hits." But then what you saw, which was on one particular play where he scrambled to the right and tried to throw the ball and squeeze the ball in. The pressure was all over him. There was multiple players coming in at him. And I was just watching it go, okay, that's enough.
I just kind of feel like the offensive line would just look deflated.
I tell you what I've seen, if we talk generally over the season, that these players generally over the entire year, and you could step it even back to last year, they just look wiped out. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing, whether there's something going on in the background. I'm not attesting to what I believe it could be. They just look like, even before the season started, and go back to last year, they just look like some of them have just had enough. It's the best way to put it.
Well, how does that refer to? Kind of goes back to Trevor Diggs. He feels like he had enough.
This is what I mean. Micah, I know, Micah, you will talk about the personality with Micah, but it's all the you get the same.
It's not that I'm talking about. I'm talking about like based on what Brad Sham talked about. Like, I don't know if you heard. Obviously, Brad Sham, who's the voice of the Dallas Cowboys, made a great comment on 105.3 The Fan to Brian Broaddus, talking about literally all the incidents in past. Like, it's kind of been like 2 years in the making for Trevor Diggs to be like not be part of the Cowboys, like, but it's not been intentionally in that way. Like it is, but it's not. Whereas he did off-season training, not under the Dallas Cowboys, where like they were against that. Then obviously there was like seeing the injury specialist outside of the Cowboys facility staff. They did not like that. So there was all these little red herrings saying, we're not liking what you're doing here. You should be coming to us because we're the one that's paying you, essentially. So stuff like that is going to like really kind of ruffle up some feathers within the organization in that regard. So I can totally get from the organization standpoint why they're a little bit effed off in that regard. But we're here where we are right now, talking about it, and make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot to do in this off season, a lot. So, but if there's any positives, like from what we've taken from this season, like you can say, yep, Dak was 4,000 yards.
Had a hell of a season. Dak had an outstanding, whatever people say, and I know people will always go, oh yeah, but how many wins? I'm sorry, I can't go there. That team wins is not a quarterback stat. I don't care what people say. They go, oh yeah, but your quarterback's the key player. True, but he also only plays 50% of the time. I'm sorry, I don't see how team wins is a quarterback stat. Same as Super Bowl wins. People do that.
Defense wins championships as well.
Yeah, I mean, offense wins games, defense wins you championships. But
let me finish on the positives.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so obviously Dak Prescott 4,000 yards. We got 2 wide receivers over 1,000 yards. We had a running back over 1,000 yards. So there's a lot of positives what we can actually do with this offense. Yeah, great. But when you look at the opposite side of the ball for the defense, you could think of all the statistics and all the analytics. Like, we've probably got arguably the worst defense in the league. by far.
It is the worst, but it's the worst defense in Cowboys history because this is the first season in the Cowboys history a defense has allowed more than 500 points in a season. That's the worst.
Yeah, I saw that statistic, and that happened within the third quarter. I think it was that 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion did it, yeah.
Yep, so officially we do have the worst defense ever in the
Cowboys history. Yeah. And when you look at the yards, like the passing yards, quarterback passing rating allowed, everything, Cowboys are like 31st, 32nd. It goes on and on and on. It was defensively, and like if people want to blame things on the offense, or they want to blame things on Sharty, or they want to blame things on Dak, I would just turn around to this season and I'll go, where did the defense rank in the last season? And that's all you have to keep doing. Yeah. When they throw something at you, go, where did they rank this season?
I mean, I'm gonna we talked about this, like strength on strength, weakness on weakness. We talked about that in the pregame show. Can you imagine if we had the Giants defense?
They would be in the playoffs.
Easily. Easily.
You only needed a defense to be mid-tier. You want to, if the Cowboys defense ranked
well, based on our offense, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If the Cowboys defense, in terms of what they were allowing, were just average, they ranked mid-tier, that would be way more than enough for this Cowboys team to have a good run in the playoffs because you had it there.
And thinking about the games that we lost that we should have won, all the close matchups that we should have won, but we're not in this. Yeah. I mean, we're not going to go in this what if scenario, but the damage is done. We're out. Season's over. We're 7-9-1. We are literally now in off-season mode. But obviously, we're going to cover in terms of the remaining games going into the playoffs and give our thoughts about who do we think is going to win this tie or this game in the division or conference. And obviously have our predictions for the Super Bowl and stuff like that. But end of the day, me and Mike are going to be working extensively, looking into like players that we think would actually be quite intriguing to be a bit part of next season's roster, from free agency to the draft. So, and if anyone knows Mike from reading them and blogging at theboys.com, he already has a spreadsheet already, no doubt.
All the quarterbacks and running backs are done.
So there you go. But the thing is, though, Mike, that's not a priority. We need you on defense.
No, I know. I spent all over Christmas. I was just watching tape on quarterbacks, running backs, just going through them. And I know, it was just like I was just sitting there, and I was like, normally I don't do it. I do it in priority order for what I think the Cowboys need. So I'll start getting through the edge defenders over the next couple of weeks, and linebackers and cornerbacks and safeties. And then I'll work back to the offense on the wide receivers, because that's always a big group.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. But yeah, folks, I don't know what else to say, folks. It's been a very rocky season. Obviously, this is Schottenheimer's first season as a head coach.
Yeah.
What grade would you give it? I mean, we're going to do an overall grading on next week's episode as well, I believe. But also, as well, we're going to be coming up for our 100th episode. So, like I said, we're going to be planning getting a special guest on the show, join with us, and kind of review the Dallas Cowboys in a nutshell, pretty much. But yeah, I don't know what else really to say, Mike. Some goods there. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had some great memories this year.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, like lots of things, like here around the UK Cowboys and Thanksgiving, the Eagles, or the games that we've gone to. And like, if I was to say the highlight of the season, it would be being in Dallas, and nothing to do with the game, meeting all the people and meeting fans of the show. And we had people coming to have photos with us. Not that I'm saying that's what I'm into, but it's more like meeting the people and hearing their stories. even older people coming up to us. That little woman who came up to us, do you remember? And she was brilliant. She was a sweetheart.
She really wanted a T-shirt so bad.
She was a sweetheart. And it's that I like. That's been the highlight of the year for me.
Yeah, and I think one of the highlights for me was when we were talking to Tyler Booker and when we told him about how massive Cowboys Nation is, not just in America, but worldwide. I think that really kind of set in for him. Like, it's like, damn, I didn't realize football was that big overseas. It's like, dude, I was like, Tyler, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to have a wee look back, we have that on our live stream channel on YouTube. If you're listening through Spotify and Apple Podcast, the video of the live stream is on YouTube, and we do apologize with the sound quality because it was a live event.
Yeah, we had music up right by the DJ, by Blackbeard.
yeah, DJ Blackbeard. Yeah, so
he says hi, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's doing awesome stuff right now. Like, did you see him? He was on the Titantron in Las Vegas there.
No.
Yeah, so he's getting himself right out there now. So he's playing in shows in Vegas now. So good for him, man. Good for him. But I think one of the other biggest highlights in terms of relating to the Cowboys, obviously we got to see our good friends, Hetman Harrison, Kyle Yeomans, Brian Broaddus, Zach Wolchuk, all the guys from 105.3, the Voch Lombardi. Yeah, we had a great time catching up. We can't forget our boy J Tuck.
Can fan.
Shout out to Canada.
Big Chris.
Big Chris from the Cowboys Up podcast. Yeah, absolutely. And
we could just reel off names, but it would just be wasted time.
And obviously now being part of the One Star One family.
Yes, we are. Yeah, that was good.
And that's actually helping us and helping, like, so DJ Kai and Sherry to really kind of like expand the message what we're trying to bring with Cowboys Nation by bringing people together from all parts of the world. So that's something that we're very proud to be part of. But in terms of the actual Cowboys itself, what I consider as a highlight has to be that Eagles game. Has to be. We were 21-0 down. We were getting slaughtered by the Eagles fans, and we were in the SRO area, standing room only. Right? And we were getting abuse from left to the right to the back to the front, right? And we were getting marked with our hats, with my kilt, and it's like, so why are you supporting this team? Oh, you blah blah blah, right? And little
we stood strong.
We stood firm. We stood our ground, and by God, did. And it was glorious just to see Eagles Tears in full action and live action was great. But at the end of the day, that was just that game. But they're off to the playoffs. We're not, so we can't really gloat too much.
We may have won the battle there, but they won the war.
Won the war. Yeah, that's probably the best analogy for that, mate. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, plenty of football still ahead. Obviously, it's just not with the Cowboys anymore. But like I said, folks, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We want just to thank everyone once again from all over the world, from Singapore to Nigeria to Kenya, Ghana, Australia, Mexico, wherever you are. We've seen the analytics. We want to thank you once again. But now it's off-season mode. We're going to be looking into free agency. We're going to be looking into potential replacements as coaches and the defensive side. Who could we bring in? Still a lot of things we can talk about. But let us know in the comments, folks. Love to hear your opinion wherever you are in the world. But before we finish up, Mike, any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, although Aubrey missed a kick, get him signed. Get Clowney signed. And if we have room, fiddling with the cap, get Pickens signed. There we go.
Yep.
They're the big three.
And that adds to his jersey number 3.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Aubrey, Clowney, Pickens. Make it happen, Jerry. Make it happen.
Filter back from there, then.
Make it happen, Jerry. Yeah. It would, at least that's some momentum going into next season, not having to do a complete rebuild once again in that regard. So we need something. So hopefully that's the case. But yes, folks, We'll be back next week. It's not going to be no more pre-games. It's just going to be in a more relaxed
off-season mode.
Off-season, more relaxed schedule. Me and Mike are going to walk about. So just be sure to hit that subscribe button and keep that notification bell rolling if you're on YouTube, or if you're on Spotify, or you're on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to. Be sure to subscribe. And but as always here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team. It is the World's Team. And we'll see you guys in the off-season. Have a good one, folks.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on BLEAV, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?